happens when this is over? Am I gonna be able to get a job? Did I jeopardize my whole career because I had to take care of my kid? Hey mamas, what's good? I hope you guys had a great holiday week. Welcome back to another Let's Chat Over Coffee. I'm Chrystal, and every single Saturday I like to talk to you about topics that matter to us over a cup of coffee or whatever you're feeling. If you didn't know, I became a stay-at-home mom about 7 months ago because of the pandemic. Not a job or a role that I ever thought I would be in, but here I am. So recently I read this article in the New York Times talking about how moms and women in general have been hit hard by this pandemic. It was titled Recession with a Difference. Women Face Special Burden. Writer Patricia Cohen addressed women-dominated fields were hit the hardest by job losses. Now this is like restaurants, retail, healthcare, even state and local governments. Then moms had to deal with childcare closings and remote schooling. And now women are finding it even hard to get a new job. So like at the start of this whole thing, right, I was transitioning out of my job anyway. So I was in the middle of a job hunt, and then, well, I had to become a stay-at-home mom, right? Someone had to make the sacrifice. It was going to be my husband or it was going to be me, right? Someone had to take care of our son. And in fact, like more moms are making this sacrifice over dads. So in the article, Census Bureau is cited saying that a third of working women between 25 and 40 years old who are unemployed said the reason was childcare demands. Only 12% of unemployed men said the same thing. When childcare ended up having to close because of the cases go rising and all the states were like, shut everything down, right? Who was gonna watch our kid? And since I was technically transitioning out of my job anyway, that role fell onto me. And of course, when daycare reopened, we could have sent him back, right? But I didn't feel safe about that. Now, if you guys have kids in daycare or in childcare or anything like that, you know. And if you don't, here's like a heads up, okay? Your kids will get sick. The year that my son was in daycare, I mean, we dealt with sicknesses almost every week. Stomach viruses, ear infections, colds, you name it. He was dealing with it, okay? I miss the women that helped watch and teach our son and help raise him, basically. But it wasn't cheap. And when you weigh the cost of getting COVID and paying for childcare versus getting a paycheck, as one mom said in the article, and I totally agree with her, it's not worth it. So here, 7 months later, I'm still stay-at-home momming. Now get this, okay? So in the article, a Harvard economics professor was quoted saying that back in the 1930s, the Great Depression, government had provided federal assistance to poor families that were headed by women because they didn't want women going out into the workforce and taking jobs away from men. And then in World War II, when women had to go into the workforce because, the men were out in the fields fighting the war, who was going to watch the kids? Someone had to work in the factories and in the male jobs, right? And who had to watch the kids? Well, the government decided to do federally subsidized child care centers and nurseries in nearly every single state. But then, as soon as the war was over, poof, that all was gone. And it makes, okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath and drink some coffee, just hold on. But it makes me wonder, if the government could help out in those times then, where is that help now, right? Yeah, we got our little checks, way back when, but what about now? What about the future? What's happening? We lost our jobs because daycares and businesses were closing because of the pandemic. They were forced to shut down. The government was like, nope, we gotta shut this down. We can't have the COVID just running around rampant. We gotta make everyone safe, And yet, so many of us are still stuck in this unemployment phase. Bills are still due. My student loans are still, I still got to pay those, and my savings account is just slowly disappearing every single day. On top of all of that, worrying about all of that, what happens when this is over? Am I going to be able to get a job? Did I jeopardize my whole career because I had to take care of my kid? I know I'm not alone. I know there's so many moms out there that are questioning the same thing, hoping to find answers, right? We're also wondering, will we have to become full-time homemakers forever? I don't want to do this forever, right? I like being a stay-at-home mom, don't get me wrong, but I never really thought that this was going to be my role, and I also really don't look forward to possibly having to do homeschooling, but that seems to be the path that we're on right now. And I'm not getting any assistance from anyone. And there was school for this, and we're paying taxes, and yet like I can get a part-time job right now that doesn't put me at risk or even fits into my schedule. I mean, the thing I want to do is be a mom and a housekeeper all day, then have to go work 4 to 6 hours doing who knows what online. And a lot of times employers wouldn't hire someone like me anyway because I have so many restricted and limited hours to work. I mean, it makes sense. You know, it's like, well, oh, we really need you at like 9 to 5. Well, I'm watching my kid then because that's when my husband works. And I don't want to hear this whole like, well, you shouldn't have had a kid then. I really have to make judgment calls on whether or not to grow my family based on your opinion. Like, why would you say that? Also, for the record, when I had my son, I never got like a message like, hey, yo, a pandemic's coming. Like, come on. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I would probably have a job, and so would many other people. I would hope that the sacrifices that myself and other moms have made wouldn't go unnoticed by future employers, because so many of us did not choose this role. We didn't choose to end our careers because a pandemic decided to come on in and take our kids away from daycare, and it's just not safe to send them there. You know, I mean, like, we didn't make this decision. We didn't do that. We shouldn't be punished for that. And while so many people are going out and living their lives like nothing is going on, attending parties and who knows what, like just not really caring, people are dying. Healthcare workers are literally stretched so thin. Cheers to them. Oh my goodness. And then you have, people like myself that are making some sort of sacrifice, staying home, protecting their families, ending their careers to be able to try to help limit the spread of this. I mean, we all want this pandemic over with. So until then, the only real solution that we can really get to is that we all need to work together, and we all need to make a sacrifice and do what's right. So stay home, wear your masks if you're out getting groceries and supplies you need for your house. Like, it's not that hard. I mean, you can virtually visit everybody in your life, man. I've been staying so connected with my friends. I mean, we've been trying to do video chats and doing those with family members as well. Like, it's not hard. It can be done, and we can get through this together. We just got to make our sacrifices. We got to sacrifice. Everybody has to sacrifice. Let's not be selfish. Let's all do our part so we can get back to a semi-normal life. Now, until then, Mama, remember, you're doing absolutely everything you can right now. I know it's so frustrating with remote learning or your toddler screaming and you just want to break and you're like, can someone just watch him? But they can't come over anymore. It's just, Being a mom right now is so difficult, but we're doing the best that we can. We're holding on tight. We're doing everything that we can. And all that truly matters is that we make our kids smile. I mean, just looking at their faces and seeing the joy in their life. Like, I mean, it just makes you so much happier, and they're our future, and we have to continue to be strong for them because we are strong. We are so strong. You've got this, Mama. Cheers.